Hey guys, welcome back to the video. My name is Fernando. Today I got a special video for you all. I turned 30 this past week and I wanted to do a quick recap on 3 or 4 things that I learned in my 20s that I can maybe share some wisdom on you all. I think this last decade has been a great decade for me for self-development and personal development. I think when I take a look at the things that I've been able to grow as a person these last 5 years, it overshadows even what I did in college, right? I think I graduated college at 23 years old or 24 years old with a college degree. And, I thought I knew things. I thought I knew what I wanted to do with my life. I thought I knew what I wanted to do with the next, my career. But it wasn't until I really took a deep dive when I turned 24, 25, that I really understood what it meant to really focus on personal and professional development, is that self-discovery of that. And I think in the last couple of years, the things that have really come to light on the things that I've learned the hard way, I think for sure it's communication. I think when I think of communication, it's not just being able to communicate in front of a camera. It's not being able to do a speech and, public speaking. It's not being able to lead a team, but it's really just listening. I think when you think about communication, it's both ways, right? I think sometimes people feel that if you are able to deliver your message and get your way, you are a good communicator. And I think that's kind of the thing that I've learned, that good communication is not just being able to tell your side of the things, but being able to understand effectively what the other person wants. There's a book that I read a few years ago called Getting to Yes. And one of the stories there that they shared was the idea of two people fighting for an orange. And one person was saying, no, I want it. No, the other person saying, no, I want it. And no matter what was going on, the two people were not happy with the outcome. It wasn't until they were able to listen and really understand, hey, what do you want the orange for? One person was trying to eat the orange, another person was trying to do a pie. And so the outcome and the deliverable there was that one person wanted the peel of the orange, and the other person wanted the orange itself. But it wasn't until they started to listen to each other that they really understood the true reason of what they were trying to do, right? And it wasn't a matter of I win, you lose, but it was a matter of how do we find a way for both of us to win. And I think that's kind of what I learned in my 20s. This last 10 years is that it's very important to really understand what the person wants. Another thing that really comes to mind, and learning this the hard way, I don't want to go on a tangent, but I think it's important for you all to maybe look into the 5 love languages. Now, this is a story that my current fiance, or my fiance, not current, my fiance and I, shared the story. And, when we were boyfriend and girlfriend, we would argue about stupid little things. And one of them was, the fact that we weren't spending enough time together. And, I would tell her, like, I'm spending all this time with you. I'm spending all this money. I'm taking you out to eat. I'm taking you out to dinner. And for her, it was like, we're just having dinner. And it wasn't until I really heard that and I listened to how she wanted to be loved, right? Going back to the love languages, she would rather me stay home and cook for her. She would rather me stay home and watch a movie with her, write her a letter. And here I thought what I was, putting some of my financial goals aside to be able to take her out to a nice dinner, to take her out to eat. And I was showing her affection that way. But that was not the way she wanted to be loved. That was not the way she wanted to be communicated. And I think going back to the lesson here is, listening and really understanding what the person wants from you is very, very important, because again, if you don't know what they want, you're going to just shove with your perspective on them, and you're not going to get anywhere. The next thing I learned in my 20s is pursue your hobbies with passion. I think we're told sometimes that you have to pick a career and that's going to be the thing you do for the rest of your life. And I think when you're 18 years old, you're like, what the hell? Like, what am I supposed to pick that I can do for the rest of my life? And it's a daunting experience and it's a daunting exercise for you to do. But I think, you make that commitment, you pursue college, if you pursue college. And for me, I was told early in my career, focus on your career and just, dive deep into it. And I can understand where they're coming from. But I think, that was kind of misguided information, because, the person giving me that advice, that was not a person that I wanted to become one day. That was not a person that I could see myself emulating. And I think, the message that I really learned these last 10 years is pursue your hobbies with passion. I'm really, really proud of the things that I've been able to do in the community through my leadership organizations, through my involvement in different organizations. And, I'm really passionate about the things that I do there. And in addition to that, I do the YouTube, I do computer coaching, I do a little bit of real estate, I do the organizations that I'm a part of, photography, and those are all little hobbies that I do, and I really go dive deep into them. And it's been really great to be able to really understand the things that I've been able to learn from that, to be able to experience different things, because now I can have conversations with individuals or don't work in my industry, and I'm being able to learn from them. And I think that's one thing that I'm really proud of being able to do. I'm really proud of being able to say, I pursue my passions, I pursue my hobbies, and I learn things from them. And so that's another thing that I want to encourage you all to do is, don't just get stuck with what you're doing now and what your career is, because your career should not define who you are, right? It's really a lifestyle. It should be, that your job is not going to dictate whether or not you're happy. And I think it's important for you all to really pursue the things that you want to pursue, but really, be able to experience different things in different areas of your life. Because if you're just too caught up on doing the one thing, although that's important to drive progress, if it's not driving progress holistically in your whole life, is that really making a difference? And I think you may see it as you're driving forward in one direction in your career, but if it's holding you back at the macro level of your life, is that really progress? And so again, that's the one thing that I learned this last 10 years is the importance of really going deep into that, and being able to really understand that my life is not my career, and that my career is just part of my life. In the same way that my career is not my life, lesson number 3 that I learned is, you have to take ownership of your life. You have to take ownership of your own development, your own personal growth. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, at age 24, 25, that's when I really took a deep dive into books, right? The things that you see back here, hundreds of books that I've been able to, work through in personal finances, in, self-help books, business, marketing, storytelling, real estate. These are all different things that I'm passionate about, but I took ownership of being able to say, maybe life didn't give me the right people in my life to be able to learn from. They gave me very caring and loving individuals, but unfortunately I did not have the information that I wanted to have in my fingertips. And so again, when I say the tip number 3 is, or lesson number 3 is, you have to take ownership of it. If you don't have the people in your life, then go and find them. For me, it was books, it was mentors, it was coaches. Whatever I wanted to learn, I went out there and I found it. I went out there and I took hold of the things that were accessible to me. And I think that's one excuse that a lot of people make, is they say, well, I just wasn't born into that, or I don't know what I don't know. And I think, that's an excuse at the end of the day. And so I want to encourage others to learn from me that, those first 4 years of my 20s, I wonder where I would be, where I would be at if I would have been able to, take a deeper dive while I was still in college into these other areas. And maybe I would be in a further place in life. But at the end of the day, I am where I am, and I get to share the experiences that I get to share with others and the different perspectives. And so again, the encouragement that I give others is, don't just wait around for people to say, what, maybe you should read this, or maybe you should do that. Really take a hold of it. If you're in a corporate job and you think your company is going to take care of you completely, they're not, right? That you may work in a great environment, you may work in a great company, and they may care about you as a person, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be business, and it's not going to be personal. And so you're going to have to take a deep dive into learning the lessons that you really want to learn. And so again, that's a big takeaway there is take ownership of it. And so there's still things that I did not accomplish in my 20s. There's things that I'm going to focus on in my 30s. And so another call to action that I have for you all is to maybe take a look at where you want to be in your next decade. For me, that's 40. Where do I want to be at 40? What are the things that I want to be able to tell myself that I accomplished 10 years from now? And I think, when you go through that exercise, you're going to be able to really, figure out whether or not you're headed in the right direction. And if you're not, maybe you can course correct before you get to that next milestone. And I think sometimes, for me, the question is, well, I don't know what I don't know. And so how should I make a list at, the hypothetical list at 40 if I don't know what I should learn? And, that's the beauty of videos like this, right? I'm going to be looking for videos that say things that I learned in my 30s, things I wish I would have known in my 30s. These type of videos are going to give you more perspective on the things that you should really take a deep dive into and really take a better understanding of what has to go into it before you get to that milestone. Thank you all for watching the video. I really want to be able to continue to do stuff like this, to be able to share different perspectives that I've learned along the way. And if you're interested in engineering videos or interested in just personal development stuff, make sure you guys subscribe and drop a like. You guys have any questions, make sure you drop those in the comment section, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.